November 2nd will of course be a highly anticipated rematch as the WBC Super Featherweight World Champion Robson Conceicao will be taking on the former WBC Super Featherweight World Champion O'Shaquie Foster. Now of course the first fight ended in a very controversial fashion as Robson Conceicao took the belt from O'Shaquie Foster via split decision. Many people believe Foster should have won, and the fact that they're even having a rematch is quite dumb. But before we get into that, I did decide to watch it for the first time, as I didn't get a chance to watch it beforehand. And I wrote my essential scorecard, and I'll explain it later. But as you can see, I gave Conceicao 7 rounds to O'Shaquie Foster 5. 115, 113 in favor of Conceicao, which is kind of similar to what they did in the actual fight. I'll explain that later, and I do have some very good reasons for it. But before that, let's go talk about records. The former champion O'Shaquie Foster 22-3 with 12 wins by way of knockout. Of course, before Nico Conceicao lost, the last time he lost was back in 2016, which that was also a split decision. He has had an amazing run where he has defeated people like Ray Vargas for the vacant WBC Super Featherweight World Championship, and he's defended it against two great people, being Eduardo Rocky Hernandez, stopping him in the very last round, and Abraham Nova, who many people believe he should still only have 2 losses, as he fought Andres Cortez, where many people believe Nova should have got the nod. But besides that, the now champion is 19-2 with 1 draw, 9 wins by way of knockout. Of course, the gold medal Olympian. He has faced some good stiff competition, and he has challenged for the title 4 times. Of course, his 4th attempt was the successful attempt, but before that, his first loss came via Oscar Valdez for the WBC Super Featherweight World Championship, where many people believed he should have got the nod. Many people believe Conceicao should have beat Valdez. But oh well, they didn't give it to him. He then beat a 17-0 Xavier Martinez. He then fought Shakur Stevenson for the vacant unified titles, as Shakur Stevenson came in overweight. Not by a lot, but still missed weight, right? And he lost that one, not really that controversial. No one really thought he won. And then he faced Emmanuel Navarrete for the WBO Super Featherweight World Championship, where it was a majority decision draw, where I myself believe Conceicao won that one, even with him being dropped twice. I did think he maybe not should have gotten the nod. I thought he won, but it was a close fight. But once again, he wasn't given, I guess, the benefit of the doubt. But then he beat O'Shaquie Foster. Now, of course, the one thing I do have to explain is the scorecard. Most people do not have it that way, obviously. But the reason why I gave Conceicao the fight is simple. If you look at the punch statistics, it was horrible. It was horrible. Super low outputs, or at least connections, right? And of course, as they say, Conceicao was missing a lot of shots, which let's not sit here and lie. He quite literally kind of was, right? But Foster was not outlanding Conceicao by a lot. Sometimes, like, quite a bit of rounds, it was only by like 2 punches. Maximum he's been getting is up to 5 punches. Which, don't get me wrong, it's still more punches, but it's not really enough to really sway, the decision, especially for another thing, right? But before we get to that, it's the output. Conceicao was also landing a lot on the arms, gloves, and basically connecting. Although it wasn't clean connections, he was connecting. And one thing I've always heard while watching boxing fights is the commentators constantly, especially the top rank, they constantly say, oh man, this man needs to be busy, even if he's just hitting the arms or the gloves, at least his output, and he can start racking up points, right? When Conceicao does it, now all of a sudden it doesn't, he's just not good. It's just, what? You guys say he has to rack up points by hitting the gloves and the arms, but now he doesn't, right? Especially with, like I said, a bunch of rounds are only off by 2. And Foster does not throw a lot. He's more accurate, but he does not throw a lot. So when you see some dude land his shots, don't get me wrong, but with it only being around 2 to 5 more punches than your opponent, and the other guy just throwing more, hitting you on your arms and gloves, it's gonna be very hard to expect the judges to give you the round. Especially because I put some stars on round 5 and 6. That's because Foster was landing his clean shots, doing very well in the first minute, right? The other 2 minutes, he just decided to go on cruise control. that costed him the round in my eyes. Well, not actually. Foster still won those rounds, but those are very good examples of why I gave the other rounds a Conceicao. Because no one's really counting the punches. They're not landing it. They're not seeing it land. Being okay, he landed one punch, one tally. Oh, another tally. Let's put a third one. No, they're not doing. They're not counting. And when the punch connections are so close, they're gonna see the guy who's putting more pressure and landing on the arms and all that stuff as the winner of the round, right? But besides that, both weirdly enough had their best moments in the fight countering, right? Being the second one. Whoever was first, which was mostly Conceicao, they got countered, right? Foster tried to go first, Conceicao countered, and he landed some good shots. Those were some of the best shots of the fight, and that was when they countered, right? So, besides that, do I believe Foster gets it done this time and becomes a two-time world champion? Probably, but there is a very big elephant in the room, and that might be his gas tank. But besides that, his last two fights, he got comfortable. He just got comfortable, going on cruise control. Literally, his last two fights against Rocky Hernandez and Abraham Nova, he was essentially losing the fight unless he was gonna lose the fight if he didn't knock out Rocky Hernandez. Well, actually, I think he might have won, but it would have been a draw, right? But you get the point. He's too lenient. Rocky Hernandez was beating him up, was about to win decision until he knocked him out. Abraham Nova was winning a bunch of rounds and was winning the fight in one judge's scorecard. If he didn't get the knockdown, it would have been a draw there too, and/or a loss. Foster is like that. He does not like to really secure the rounds. And that's why he lost the Conceicao fight, because it finally came and bit him in the ass. He did it with Rocky Hernandez. He did it with Nova. And this time with Conceicao, he just didn't come out with the victory. You got really much no one to blame but himself at that point. You're not supposed to expect judges to know exactly how many punches were landed or anything, right? This fight is a weird one. The first fight, super weird. If you were to play it 100 different times, you would get very different results. You probably get 60 for Foster, 40 for Conceicao. You get that. It's very everywhere, right? Because it's that kind of fight. But the weird thing is, like I said about this gas tank, because in the Hernandez fight, he was very tired. Especially when you saw, I think it was the 11th round, they were hurting each other. Rocky Hernandez and Foster were both exhausted. Now, of course, Conceicao is not as strong as a puncher as Hernandez, but he does have good body work. And I'm just thinking, if Foster can't, because I don't think he's going to stop Conceicao. So if he puts actual more energy into it, he might end up losing the fight a little bit more convincingly because he would be more tired by the end. But the one thing that is going Foster's way is Conceicao is not young. He is 36. Now, of course, he's only had 22 fights, so obviously not that old in terms of fighting age, but of course amateur belts count as well. But you get the point. He's not that old in terms of fighting age. But actual age, a little bit, right? But enough dilly-dallying. I do believe Foster might get it done this time. Might. It just depends how it goes, because especially with the way the first fight went, for all we know, Foster could legitimately lose the fight, but they would give him the fight. But they would give him the win because of the first fight's controversy, right? That might happen. But I don't know. It's very weird because that's just his style. He just gets outworked for most of the time and starts coming on the second half, right? But besides that, I'm locking it in. Foster by decision. I think it's very iffy, especially seeing how he fought the first time and questioning a little bit of his gas tank. A little bit. I think Foster might make the right adjustments to win the fight. Should he have won the first one? I don't know. It was a close fight. Close fight. But besides that, yeah, Foster should get it done, but I wouldn't be too confident, if that makes any sense. Also, BoxRec sucks. None of the champions are literally the first champion is Conceicao of number 5, bruh. But besides that, that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you believe Foster should have won the first fight, I don't blame you. I watched it without commentary, so that makes it any difference. But I did watch it without commentary, so yeah. But it is going to be a good fight, though, because both of them will be trying to attempt to really solidify themselves as the true champion. And it'll be a great fight, so it doesn't matter. Win, lose, the people are going to win. But besides that, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.